What an absolutely spectacular day. What can be said about a Thanksgiving? Welcome aboard. Special 2-hour program. Please hit the like button. Unbelievable day. I hope everyone had a sensational Thanksgiving. I hope everyone did, man. I mean, football, family, and friends. I don't think you can get any better than that, especially here on a Football Friday. We had to do something special. Big Sills is not going to leave you hanging. By the way, do me a favor. First 15 minutes, hit that like button. Hope all indeed had a great Thanksgiving. Can't wait. Hey, by the way, I found a coach that is absolutely more pathetic than Nick Sirianni, and he was let go today. And that was Matt Eberflus. Holy shit, man. 33 seconds left. You have a timeout. You have a chance to win a ball game. And what do? You completely shit the bed. And then the most buffoonery thing that he did was he gets in front of the media and he says this, hey, I wouldn't have done anything any different. You know, hey, I thought we really handled the end of that game against the Lions. Pretty good. I mean, I thought we handled it well. You're like, are you insane? There was Nick Sirianni moments all over the place. Holy shit, dude. Hit the like button, guys. Appreciate it. I found a more pathetic coach than Nick Sirianni, and he was fired today. Matt Eberflus. Holy shit, man. Unbelievable. Hey, by the way, we're going to give you our prediction on what happens on Sunday against the Ravens. We'll talk week 13. College football games are going on as we speak. Our 2 hours today, our special holiday 2-hour show is being powered by our friends at BetUS. Make sure you check out the website. Ton of college football games today. Some big-time college football games tomorrow. You got USC Notre Dame. You got the Iron Bowl, Alabama Auburn. And, of course, you have Ohio State Michigan. Truly one of the last great rivalries. And those rivalries have not been touched because of television. Most of the great rivalries in college football, especially on Turkey Week, like Nebraska, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, all those rivalries have been destroyed because of television. Well, you still got some of the great ones left there, especially Ohio State, Michigan, and Auburn, Alabama. So make sure you hit the like button, guys. We appreciate you guys. We're going to talk Lions here in a second. By the way, wow, what an offense. Jared Goff yesterday, 221, 2 touchdowns, 21 to 34. How about that dual-headed monster of a running game? Almost 200 yards rushing, 21 to 88. Montgomery and Gibbs goes for 9 for 87. Do I think they're compatible with the Eagles? Yeah, because you know why? They got a better passing game than you. They got by far a better passing game. I don't know. It's on display. You do not have a passing game. Their passing game is one of the best in the league, and their running game is one of the best in the game. Philly Don, all supers. He reminds me, go to the top. How you doing, Big Sills? All good, man. Appreciate you guys. Hit that like button. By the way, I'll say this to you. Yeah, the Lions have a better offense than you because the quarterback's better. Your defense, we're going to find out. The loss of Brandon Graham this week against the top offense in pro football. We're going to find out. Look, I don't need to know if your team is good now. I know your team is good. But by the way, I'll say this to you, man. Green Bay's coming. The Packers look like they're coming, man. They really do. Sills, pick against us. Please, we win every time you do. Hey, Nick, if you actually think your D-line is number one when you don't have any fucking edge rushers and they got pass rushers all over the bazooka, that Ravens team, and they're number one against the run in the NFL, if you don't think that they have a good – I saw what you posted on my X account. Fucking stupid. And by the way, you really think that Zach Bond's a better ball player than Roquan Smith? You're absolutely high. You're high. He can't cover like that, dude. Now, that dude's been banged up the last 2 weeks, but he's playing this week. Nobody in the world would go, hey, Zach Bond's a better linebacker than the best linebacker in pro football with 6 Pro Bowls. I was seriously, really? Hey, how about this? Finish the regular season first before you start fucking telling me Zach Bond's better than Roquan Smith. How many Pro Bowls does he have? I just threw that up. Roquan Smith. By the way, he's on pace for the 158 tackles this year as well. I mean, he's the best linebacker in pro football. Roquan Smith. Let's take a look how many Pro Bowls this mother effer has. He's the best backer in the game today, man. And get this. And there's no debating it. There's no debating it at how good this guy is. Again, like I said, he's been banged up. He's better. You're like, that guy is not better. And he's only 27 years old. He's the same age. So let me see here. Okay, he's a 2-time first-team All-Pro. First-team All-Pro. He's 27 years old, and he's considered the best linebacker in pro football. Okay, guy. And he's the same age. Zach Bond has been a top 2 linebacker this year. Only this year. Let's see if he can play the rest of the season out like that. Hey, look, he's the best linebacker in the NFL, and you're trying to tell me he's better than Roquan Smith. Okay, guy. Whatever. I'll take Roquan at 27. I'll take Roquan at 27. You can have Zach Bond at 27. He's a better cover guy, and he's a better football player. End of story. Not now, but can Bond be better in the long run? They're the same age. Hey, Martin, I'll tell you what he can be. He can be in the top 5, and that's a good thing. He can be in the top 5, and that's okay. By the way, Martin, I think you've just got it. Remember this, Martin. We're now comparing Zach Bond. Listen to me when I say this. Get this. Some guys are late bloomers. Pat, you're going to understand what I mean when I say this. So we're in the conversation with Zach Bond and Roquan Smith. That is quite a compliment to Zach. We're not talking about Dre Greenlaw here. We're talking about a guy in a conversation with the best linebacker in football. That's absolutely, okay? That is absolutely tremendous if you're Zach. So wait a minute. If I was a player and I heard someone saying, hey, did you hear Sileo saying you're not as good as Roquan? I'd look over at him and go, he's comparing me to Roquan? Holy shit. Wow, thank you. That is absolutely, like RC3 says, that's nuts. A special teams guru in New Orleans is now in a conversation with Roquan Smith. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I wouldn't believe it if you told me 5 weeks ago that conversation would exist on this program. No way. Shows how far we've come compared to last year. It's a great, you guys are now getting it. You're getting it. Nick, really. Hey, just because he's not better than Roquan now, he's in the room with him. If you're Howie Roseman, you better open your wallet, dog. Because that guy makes $25 million a year. You guys think it's a rip, but it's a compliment. Oh, he's not Roquan. Sills is talking about Zach Bond and Roquan Smith. Yeah. Roquan makes $25 million a year. He just signed a $100 million contract with the Ravens. Yeah. I know. And he's playing for $1.5 million. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Hit the like button. Unbelievable. I mean, Shaq Barrett is going to sign with the Dolphins. He's not going to sign with the Eagles. He's going to sign with the Dolphins. Especially after last night's bullshit. By the way, one thing is clearly evident, and we said it, the Dolphins are soft. That's a soft football team. Sills, this is right about time we start falling apart. This game might be a blowout. Lamar Jackson's too much for Hurts. We're going to get to our takeaways. Okay? We will. By the way, all supers go to the top. Brian, hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Is Dean better than their other linebacker? Here, think about this, Nick. And the one thing about the Ravens that they have going into this ball game, okay? They get a lot of pressure from their linebackers. And I want to show you what I'm saying here when they get a lot of pressure from their linebackers. Okay, here's Roquan Smith right now. Roquan Smith is on pace right now for 156 tackles. Okay, I'll tell you what I do think that Bond does better than Roquan. I think he rushes the passer better. Sills, what would Jalen's stats line have to be to win? We're going to get to all that, Jared. I promise. We're going to get to the takeaways on what I see happens this weekend. Hey, by the way, I'll answer that now. Jared, for Hurts on Sunday, Hurts is going to have to win this game. I think Jalen's going to have to go for 280 in the air. And I think he's probably going to have to go for 65 rushing. That is somewhere in there. 3 touchdowns passing. 280 and 65 rushing for this game on Sunday. I think Barkley, well, I'm gonna get to it here in a minute. Guys, please hit the like button. I'm going to give you my takeaways. It's a 2-hour special, so please get in where you fit in. Zander's going to join us at 3:15, 3:20, somewhere in there, and we're going to talk a little bit about the game on Sunday. Hey, by the way, Brian Westbrook is going to join us Monday. That's for your programming pleasure coming out of that Ravens game. Who better to have on than one of the greatest running backs in the history of the Philadelphia Eagles? So Brian Westbrook is going to join us Monday. We'll get you a time. We'll post it over on my X account. If you guys aren't following, make sure you follow so you can get an update of when he comes on Monday. So we had some really great guests this past weekend, Jimmy and Dungy. Smitty practices again. That's huge if he plays. Yeah, I saw that yesterday he didn't practice, and I thought I saw something. Someone had a concussion yesterday, and they didn't practice for concussion reasons, and I think that was Darius Slay. So we'll find out a little bit more about that as well. I think this is going to be a great football game on Sunday. So I think Jalen's going to have to be somewhere in the 283 touchdown, 65 rushing to win this football game on Sunday. We're going to get to the takeaways here in a minute, but somebody asked the question about the linebackers that Baltimore has. I want to show you something here. Travis Robinson, linebacker. Right now, I mean, if you looked at it right now, he's on pace for about 7 sacks. If you go down the list here again, Brandon Stevens, they bring people from the cornerback position. They do a lot of blitzing. Projected to have 4 sacks from a cornerback position. They blitz a lot, man. Trenton Simpson, their other linebacker, is probably going to get about 6 sacks. You got a guy right now, and obviously Van Noy, who's got 8 sacks, knows how to rush the passer. Hey, and by the way, he's a sneaky season going on. He's on pace for 12 sacks. So their linebackers, they've got guys 7, 8, 9 sacks that pressure the quarterback. They get out of that position a lot of production with multiple guys across the board. Van Noy, you wouldn't know it, but he's on pace, like I said, for 12 sacks. You don't have anybody at that position, really even on your team with 12 sacks, who's going to be there, except for maybe Josh. But Josh is an edge rusher. This guy's from the linebacker position, and they move him around a lot. Okay? I don't think their secondary is very good. I just don't think their secondary is very good. Hey, Sills, from your take, if Ringo is physical DB, why do coaches go for the smaller DB against Puka? Because he's not a good cover guy. Hey, just because you're big and physical and you're a good hitter doesn't mean you can cover. The only reason Isaiah Rodgers is playing and Ringo's not is because he's a better cover guy. And some of you would go, did you see that Stafford was attacking him? Yeah, well, that your other option is a lesser guy. Ringo's not ready yet. He's not ready. Or Vic would play him. Hasn't Vic proved – hey, guys, hasn't Vic proved one thing to you? If he thinks you can play, he's going to play you. I mean, has he not proved that to you? He didn't even know anything about Cooper DeJean, really. I don't know. He didn't know anything about Zach. He didn't know Zach Ball could play inside. But he had a feeling about it. And, hey, if he thinks you can contribute, Keely Ringo would be playing. Okay? He'd be playing, but he's not. What does that tell? It's all you need to know. That is all you need to know right now. Vic is as honest as a defensive coordinator as I've ever seen. Okay? He's as honest as it gets. All right. I'm going to get to my takeaways here. By the way, one last thing here. I want to show you guys something. I wrote this down. I know that we've been keeping an eyeball on Teron Arnold and also Quinyon Mitchell. And I wanted to point something out to you here. Heading into last night's game. So Teron Arnold on that Detroit Lions defense is right now projected to have 55 tackles and 44 solo tackles. And Q is on pace for 56 tackles and 43 solos. They're pretty much having the same year. And one guy's team's 11-1, and the other guy's team heading into this weekend's 9-2. They're both having good years. Okay? And by the way, for a rookie to start every single game this year so far, pretty good. They're both starting. They're rookies. Get this. Abe goes like this. Arnold is not that good. How in the fuck does a rookie start on an 11-win team? What a dumb comment. He's a rookie. He's played in 12 NFL games, and he started every game. He's not that good. Okay. Well, how many rookies do you have starting? 2? How many teams around the league have rookies starting? That's a stupid comment. Ramsey and the Dolphins crying about Vic is backfiring. It's totally backfiring on them. Arnold gets more PI calls because his team gets the benefit of the doubt more, it seems. Anyone who thinks the Eagles will beat the Ravens are foolish. These dudes making wish sandwiches at this point. Hurts will ruin your holiday. Mozzie playing better. He deserves credit. Hey, 304 wants me to do this. Mozzie Smith, instead of being the turd he is playing not like a turd. He's playing like a fifth rounder. Okay, sure. He's playing better than the first round. He's playing better than me projecting him as a fifth rounder, if you want to say that. Okay, sure. I still think he's got a long way to go. He's playing a lot better over the last 3 weeks. Okay, I guess so. But again, he's not lived up to anything remotely close to what people thought he was going to bring in. Jerry Jones was comparing him to Reggie White. Okay, so 304. How about this again? Here we go with Cowboy guy. They beat a shitty Giants team, and here we are. Watch this. And you hear Micah Parsons or missing Parsons going like this. By the way, he was good yesterday. Michael, hey, you hear Cowboy guy. Hey, we're 5-7. We have a shot. You're like, no, you don't. Have a shot at what? Making the postseason and going home? With Cooper Rush? Good grief. Really. The Dallas Cowboys and their fans are rooting to make the playoffs so they can get blown out in them. Dude, I'd rather get the draft pick and have a high draft pick in April than pretend to be somewhat decent and have a shitty in the middle of the road 15 or 18 pick? Wouldn't you rather have a high pick in each round to help get your football team better? Or would you really just rather just hang around 9-8 and be in that conversation where you're 9-8 and you're going nowhere? I mean, dude, I'd rather, if I'm going to be in the NFL and I got a football team, I'd rather be really great or really awful. I don't want to be hanging around the toilet bowl. That's not what I'm looking for. No, hey, look, we have zero chance just evaluating young talent. Okay, well, if you're looking at it like that, you're looking at the future. That's a good way to look at it. It is. By the way, I think Mike McCarthy's doing a pretty good job of coaching right now. I really do. I think he's done a pretty good job of coaching. Hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give you my prediction, and then I'm going to give you my takeaways. And then I'm going to give you advantages and disadvantages heading into this game Sunday, Eagles and Ravens. Just for shits and giggles here. Do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button. Also, do not forget our great friends at BetUS. Hey, ton of college football games going on right now. And on Saturday, don't forget Sunday too. And if you're looking to team up with a great betting house, this is absolutely our partners. And we invite you to team up during this time. The YouTube 150, you get an opportunity with a sign-up bonus all the way up to $2K. Your second and third or 125%. All the way up to $2K, 200% in crypto. All you do is go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Fastest payouts in the business, 24/7 personalized service, 365 days of the year. Make sure you do that again. Go to BetUS, man. betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. All right. I'm going to give you my takeaways here. Then I'm going to give you advantage, disadvantage. Guys, hit the like button. Give me an idea where we are also in the like total. Like to do this. We're doing a 2-hour special this day here. Brian Westbrook will join us on Monday. Okay, so we're only going 2 because of the holidays, but I couldn't leave you hanging on a Friday. And don't forget our pre- and post-game show on Sunday, the legendary pre- and post-game show. You know what I love about our pre- and post-game? Everyone's trying to copy it. Okay? Everyone's trying to replicate it, but it's never duplicated. That's why that thing is one of the best going around. So make sure you check us on Sunday. 84th, thank you, guys. So make sure you hit that like button, guys. I want to get it up to at least 200, 300 by the time we get out of here. We got 2 hours. I want to see if we can break a record here. Get up to 250, 300 likes. All right. This is not going to be your Ed Reed's defense that you're going to see with this Ravens team on Sunday. If you're looking for the Ravens to look like Ed Reed's defense, when you have Terrell Suggs coming off the corner and you got people and meat eaters up the middle like Sam Adams and Saragusa, you don't have them dudes. Ray Lewis in the middle, that's not that defense. Okay? That's not that defense. I mean, it's kind of halfway built now. Here's the thing about the Ravens you always have to understand, though. They're always going to be well coached. Schematically, they're going to be sound. They have good personnel, but they don't have the exceptional personnel that they used to have in the secondary, like a Rod Woodson or dudes that played in the secondary in years past. That's just not the same defense. It's not the aggressive style. And all the great coordinators like Marvin Lewis and Rex and all them guys that were on that side of the ball, that's just not the same group. And here's the problem that I have. The Ravens' pass defense is 31st. Now, here's what offsets that. The Eagles' pass offense is 26th. So is it an advantage? You guys are going to sit here and say, well, the Ravens aren't good in pass coverage. Well, the Eagles aren't good as a passing team. So it's a flip of the coin. Where's the advantage? How do you have an advantage when you're not passing the ball well. Where's your advantage? Your advantage is obviously in personnel. AJ, is Devontae playing? I'll tell you one thing they've done. Okay, one thing that they have done when Devontae Smith has become kind of like another dude, because you know who's picked up when he's not out there? Saquon. They go to Saquon. The rest of the guys on that team are really non-factors. The other wide receivers on your football team are just non-factors. I didn't even know Devontae was missing last week. For a $25 million wide receiver, not to notice him. Dude, usually when you're a high premium player, you notice when a guy's missing. I didn't notice him because Barkley was so electric, being the dual threat player he is. He was a non-factor. His name, the more he misses and the less that they have him in the game plan, it's being evident now. Barkley in those screens and in the short passing game, it's becoming a thing for them. You could see it in a trend here. But once again, that's the first time I noticed that I said this to myself. I didn't miss Devontae at all. He was a non-factor. Then again, when he's on the field and AJ's on the field, when AJ's off the field and it's just him, he's still a non-factor. AJ wins games. Devontae gets you numbers. He's not a determining factor. Hey, and by the way, I love the kid. But he has no impact in winning. AJ and Saquon do. In your old line. Okay? Your offense right now, there's only 7 teams worse than you. It's not like you have some massive advantage here. I love how people are going, dude, your passing game is not very good. It's below average. The offense runs through Barkley and AJ, period. Absolutely. This is going to be, in my opinion, this has to be a Hurts game. You're going to see 2 explosive and dominant run attacks. Baltimore and Philly are the 2 best at it. The 2 best at it. You get electric players, including Hurts, that can run. This is going to come down to the quarterback who's better. Because personally, Jalen's going to have to win a game. I think Barkley is going to struggle versus the Ravens' run defense. I don't mean struggle like holding him completely shut out. 85 yards, somewhere in there. 79 yards, somewhere in there. Okay? I think it's going to be something like that. And Hurts is going to have to throw the ball to win this game. They're 31st. They're not very good in the secondary. I just don't see Barkley getting off in this game. I'm cool with having an 8-9 record. If the young talent starts to show signs, he's talking Dallas, of improvement, becoming better players, a lot like Detroit in 22. Completely true. Yes. If your mentality is that, you're on the right track with Dallas. I disagree with people. I think Baltimore is going to do a great job stopping the run. And there's no question in this ball game, I would take Lamar and Henry 10 times over Hurts and Barkley of the 2 guys that have to carry their football team. Make no mistake, there's not a chance in hell I would take Jalen Hurts in any way whatsoever over Lamar Jackson. Not a chance. It's not remotely close. And when it comes to Henry and Barkley, I would say Barkley's a more complete player in being able to catch the football. But he's not a better runner than Henry. What Barkley's doing right now is career. What Henry's doing right now, he's right there with him. He's done this his entire career. He's as advertised. Hey, and by the way, like Vic said, sorry, guys, that guy's not diminishing his talents. He's not diminishing his talents. This is going to be an exciting and fun game. Ravens have the number 2 rush defense in pro football. And I think Barkley's going to have some tough times here in this game. Again, tough times, 85 yards rushing. 27-24, Baltimore. At home, 3-point favorites. I got them winning. I just don't think Lamar and Henry are lesser players than Hurts and Barkley. And I think Saquon's having a great year. I think your quarterback is okay. He's going to have to win it. That's why when someone asked me earlier, I said 285, 3 touchdowns, and 65 rushing. If he's in that room and outplays him, Hurts puts himself back in the conversation for MVP. Right now, it's a 3-headed dog. It's Barkley, Lamar, and it's Henry. Sills, what's where short dump-offs and chip run passes to Barkley come in play? I completely think that that's been an absolute gold mine the last 3 weeks. Philly is those quick dump-offs and him taking them and those yak plays that he gets after. I think that's been something that's been starting to be implemented. Eagles win. Thanks, Sills, for the pick. No problem. 27-24, the 2 best ball players on the field, Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Less plays in passing, lower in passing offense. Same shit if you don't run the ball. Often rushing offense rank will be low. It's how you win ball games. It's not how you win ball games. Like I said, there's a reason that teams win Super Bowls with quarterbacks. You can have a lesser roster, but the quarterback has to be A+ or B. B+. You have a C+ quarterback and an A+ team. Definitely tough game. We just don't match up well. I don't believe you do match up well against them. By the way, Zay Flowers is not awful. I don't think he's elite. A couple other guys they have on that team, but it's never been really a wide receiver offense. It's been more with Andrews out of the tight end position. I'd like to have seen Henry be more of a factor in the passing game, but that's not his skill set. Lamar right now, man, I mean, if Lamar finishes the way he's playing now, he's going to have 4,400 passing yards and 40 touchdowns and 1,000 rushing. There's nobody in football playing better than him. And he's the quarterback. There's just nobody playing better than him. And that includes Mahomes. That includes Mahomes. I believe Barkley has a good day. Not like last week, but dude, I think 85 yards rushing is a good day. He probably catches something like 30 in the Zander. Do I think Zander's going to give another jersey out? Probably. 85 rushing, maybe another 35 receiving. I think he's going to be somewhere in there. I do. I think he's going to be somewhere in there. Williams was trying to tell me they would lose out a few weeks ago, and I told him they have too much talent for that to happen. Now he thinks they're winning it all. I don't know if the Ravens are winning it all with that defense. They're still so suspect in their secondary. Okay? They're so suspect. Sample size of modern-day NFL is very limited. Only a couple dozen Super Bowls to 1,000 yards of regular season games. Not sure where you're going with that. Flowers is awful. It's just fast. He drops everything. Last week, and especially in that Steeler game, he dropped a shitload of passes in that game. Okay? A shitload of just an absolute shitload of passes. So here's where I got this. By the way, please hit the like button. Give me a total on our likes. We're going only 2 hours today. Brian Westbrook will join us Monday. Don't forget pre- and post game on Sunday. Okay. Here's what Chris's opinion is. We're not into playing this way. Hurts is easily a B-type quarterback. His legs are A, and his leadership, fuck the leadership shit. Congratulations. If you're a quarterback in the NFL and your team is good, fuck that shit. Stop saying that non-athletic thing with the leadership thing. It's such a non-issue. The only time it's an issue when you don't have a guy who is. You're drafting a guy with the assumption he is a lead. Jesus Christ. Once again, adding something that has no skill set to it. Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, has no leadership capabilities, but he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's accurate. He's not accurate. How many missed passes do you see in a game? How many sacks is that? Dude, your passing offense is 26th. Get used to it. This is what you are. And you say this. Yes, you're going to beat teams. You're going to beat teams like this, running the ball and not having to worry about anything. You're totally going to beat teams when you're talking about here. You're going to beat, since the bye, you're going to beat Cleveland. You're going to beat New York. You're going to beat Jacksonville. You're going to beat the Rams. You're going to beat Dallas without having to have a passing game. When you play Baltimore, you're going to have one. Seals, we have zero chance Sunday. Complete devastation. Hurts is going to be bummy, and Sirianni will have CTE. I'll do my victory lap post-game. Hey, Brian, you tell me if you agree with this. Advantages and disadvantages heading into this game on Sunday. Thanks for the super chat. A-Rod showed bad leadership this year. Record. A-Rod has always shown bad leadership. Record. And plus, it's the Jets. Dude, I'm not sure Patrick Mahomes can go in there and win. It's the Jets. Rodgers isn't a team player. All he cares about is his stats and his passing game. Well, he does have a Super Bowl MVP on his resume. He does have a Super Bowl win, and he is the greatest thrower of the football, maybe of all time. 4-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. Guys, I want to make a point to you about you're talking shit on a guy, and you're talking about a leadership issue with a guy who's a revolutionary, and he's a generational player. Aaron Rodgers is a generational player. You're never going to see shit what he accomplished in his entire career. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Aaron Rodgers has done things you'll never see ever in your life from a quarterback who throws the ball a shitload of times. It's insane what he accomplished. Here, Aaron Rodgers touchdown to interception numbers. 2010, 45-6, 39-6, 39-4, 31-5, 40 touchdowns to 6, 25 touchdowns to 1, 26-3. He threw 50 touchdowns one year and had 4 picks, 37-4. Dude, he did things at the quarterback position you'll never see again. He threw 50 touchdowns one year and had 4 picks. I mean, Jalen Hurts won't throw 50 touchdowns in 2 years combined. And he throws the ball 600 times a year. Hey, well, Pat goes like this. He's not elite, and he's not elite anymore. Well, he is 42. I get it. I'm not saying he is. He's 42 years old. He's the first ballot. Probably might maybe not get in on the first ballot because people hate his politics. Sensational ball player. All right. Here is the advantages and disadvantages going into the ball game on Sunday for the Ravens. Advantage, quarterback, Baltimore. Running back. I'm going to say push. However, I'm going to put an asterisk on it. I think it's a push, but I would lean Barkley because he catches the ball and he's more effective and important to the Eagles in moving the chains than what Henry is in Baltimore. So I would call it a push, but lean Philly because of what he does in the passing game. Wide receivers. I would go Eagles here. Now, if Devontae doesn't play, you have AJ and Barkley, and then really no one else. There's really nothing. I mean, you don't have a good wide receiver group. I mean, you don't have 5 good wideouts. You have 2 really good ones. And the rest of them are nobodies. Now, when you add Barkley to that mix, it elevates it. But we're talking about the wide receiver room. That's funny. When I was talking to Zander at the beginning of the year, I told him, do you think you have a good wide receiver room? He goes, it's an excellent wide receiver room. And I go, no, it's not. You sustain one injury, and you have to use your running back as your number 2 guy. You don't really have a number 2 guy if one goes down. Dotson's a nobody. It's not awful. Is he better than Quez Watkins? They're probably the same. When I look at Dotson, maybe he fights for the ball better. He's not that much of an upgrade from Quez. Isn't it funny you haven't been able to replace Quez? So, I mean, like, I don't know. He might fight for the ball better. Offensive line can prove number 1 if it's dominant against the number 1 run defense that Baltimore has. And Sills, please grow the goatee back. You look like a high school math teacher, not a badass retired defensive tackle. Oh, I got to play the role now. But thank you for the super chat, Joey. I appreciate it. Thank you. But still, AJ's so good. Okay, he's a dominant football player. Hey, right here, like Peter says, Quez who? I know. Dotson who? Dotson who? 3rd rounder for that? Seriously. The Chiefs got DeAndre Hopkins for like a 4th or 5th rounder. He's 10 times the player that guy is. You give a 3rd rounder up for a guy who stinks. Just, I don't know. O-line, Eagles. However, the Ravens have the 3rd best O-line according to Pro Football Focus. So it's not that big of a gap. But I would still go because when they get running and they get rolling, it's like a freight train. They are performing better in the run game than they have in the last 3 years, even including the Super Bowl 2022 team. They're better than they were in 22. Okay? I mean, they are. I mean, they're absolutely better. But the Ravens are exceptional themselves. I got the Ravens D-line interior-wise as being better. Jalen Carter's the better player. But you don't have the better group than them. I'm sorry, but Jalen Carter is a superstar like we predicted. By the way, we predicted it on draft day that he would be what you're looking at. Okay? I was disappointed a little bit by the way it finished, but that had more to do with Patricia. But everything I said about the kid on draft day is coming to fruition. Jordan Davis, on the other hand, I mean, he's just not lived up to anything. He's a solid player. He's not great in any aspects whatsoever. Okay? He's just not. Okay, I mean, Carter and Milton. Milton doesn't play inside, dickhead. I mean, yeah. So I would definitely the interior. And by the way, your edge rushers are going to be Nolan Smith and who? Josh Sweat. Okay, I'm running at Nolan Smith. As soon as I see that little dude out there on Sunday, I'm running Derrick Henry right at him because I don't believe he can. There's not a chance in hell he's tackling Derrick Henry. But O-line, I will clearly go Eagles. D-line, I'm going Ravens. Linebackers. Roquan Smith is a phenomenal player. Van Noy is a good player. Dean and Zach Bond versus Van Noy and Roquan. The Ravens are better players, but the Eagle guys are having better seasons. Got to be fair here. This is going to be a great matchup. I'm going to take the guys who are playing the best now. So I'm going to go Eagles over Roquan Smith, over my better judgment. But they're playing better. My eyeballs are not going to, just because I see the resume with Van Noy and with Roquan, I'm not going to let the resume blind my eyesight in what I've seen week in and week out. So I'm going Eagles at linebacker. And by the way, you see guys in here going Nakobe Dean and Zach Bond, who are nobodies, over Van Noy, who's going to get 11 and a half sacks this year and 70 tackles or 80 tackles. And Smith is the best inside linebacker, and he goes easily. You'll be very thankful if you ever have a career like Roquan Smith and you play linebacker in this league. Zach Bond doesn't have a career. He's got 10 good games. That guy has a career, and he's the same age. He's 27 years old. You make it sound like he's 36. Roquan Smith is the premier linebacker in pro football. And that includes Fred in San Francisco. He's the premier backer. Premier linebacker. DBs. Man, I think the safeties are pretty good. Van Noy not going to play. He's not on the injured reserve. I didn't see the injured list for him. I didn't see him on the injured list yesterday. Let's see if Nick's truthful or if he's lying. I didn't see that name yesterday on the injured list for the Ravens. Let's take a look at that. It's going to be a great football game. I'm really looking forward to it. Injured list. Did not practice. Hamstring. Okay. Here. This was yesterday's. Hamstring. Doesn't say he's it doesn't say he's not playing. It says he did not practice. Now he may not. You're assuming he's not playing. So until that comes out, and that's Thursday. So we'll see what happens Saturday or today. So quite frankly, Nick, he's not going to play. It's not a factual comment. And by the way, really, he'll have 12 sacks. What linebacker do you have that's going to have 12 this year? Your DBs, I like their safeties, Baltimore. But and Slay, Might not play for concussion reasons. Q's having a good season. They're the worst pass defense in pro football. So you got to go Eagles here. And in coaching, I mean, John Harbaugh's got a Super Bowl win. Todd Monken has a 2-time MVP, soon to be 3-time potentially MVP. Wishbone will choke this game. He has to win it. This will be on him. This game will come down to him. And like I said about Baltimore, here's the kind of people you're playing against with Baltimore as you head into this game. Pretty impressive stuff here. Pretty impressive. Baltimore, Lamar Jackson, 4,400 yards, 39 touchdowns, 2 picks is what he's trending to. He's insane. 4 picks, 118 quarterback rating. Derrick Henry, 1,900 yards rushing, 18 touchdowns, 6 yards a clip. By the way, he's going to be a 2,000 all-purpose rusher this year as well. Even with the 200 yards receiving, he's going to go over 2,000 all-purpose yards. Here's something else that makes Lamar even more insane on how good he is. Lamar right now is trending to have 950 yards rushing. So on top of the fact that he's averaging right now and trending towards 4,400 passing yards and 40 touchdowns, he might get 1,000 rushing. I mean, you will never see a football player, and that might even mean Josh Allen, do shit like that in your life. 40 rushed, 40 throwing touchdowns. He's already led the NFL in passing TDs 1 year. Then he'll turn around and potentially throw for 40 touchdowns. Do you understand? He'll throw more touchdowns than Hurts will passing, 2-1. It's not even a conversation. This guy's going to have over 5,400 total yards and potentially 56 touchdowns. And then what I'm saying to you is, then you add in another guy with $2,000 in the backfield and another 20 touchdowns. It's fucking unbelievable what Baltimore's doing offensively. Hurts elite, no holes defense. Go Birds, go Zander. Have a great weekend, Sills. You too, brother. Thanks for the super chat. Sills, our O-line can prove it's number one if it's dominant against Baltimore's number one rush defense. And Sills, please grow the goatee back. You look like a high school teacher. I got it. You already did this, but thank you again. I appreciate it. Okay? Sills, you're the man. Thank you so much, Slip. I'm really pumped for this game. I think this game, Slip, is going to be the game of the year. In my opinion, the key for this game will be defense. Ravens D ain't the best against opposing wide receivers. If Smitty plays, it could be another good one. It's Slip. If he plays, there's no question that tilts even more on the Eagles side. And they're terrible back there. But the Eagles, I mean, dude, you tell me this. Well, Baltimore's 31st. We're your only 5 positions on the offensive side where you're 26th in offense. I mean, I'm not sure that's a huge advantage to you. I mean, are you really going to throw the ball 37 times? Hey, let me ask you this, guys. Let's do this. And when Zander comes on, we'll ask him this question. Are you going to get away from running the ball 42 times in this game? Are you? Because if you throw the ball 42 times, you'll lose big. Because that's not who you are. You're established your identity already. Your identity is running the ball. You haven't won a game this year doing that. What makes you think you can now? That's an assumption. I'm going by what you've done. Let's go back and take a look at how Jalen's played this year. And we'll look at the trends of the Eagles. Again, these aren't stats, my friends. These are trends on what they've done. Okay? These are trends. Let's take a look at this. So, I got you, Zander. Here's what he did in the. Let's do this. Let's keep a stat here on this. In the Green Bay game, 30. He went over 30 passes, got a W. Okay. That's more than any passing game that he's had so far since the bye. Atlanta game, you guys lost it. Hurts had 30 passes. Atlanta, 30. That's an L. New Orleans, you win it 15-12. $38. W. Over 30. All these games had turnovers in them too. Remember that. That's what kept the games close. Was all the turnovers early on. Buccaneers. Tampa game. $30. L. So 2 of the 4 games that he went over 30 attempts, you were 2-2. You come out of the bye. Think about what I just said. 34-30, 38-30, heading into the bye. Now let's take a look at that coming out of the bye. Cleveland. $25. All supers go to the top. New York Giants. 14. Cincinnati. 38 and a win. Jacksonville. 23. Dallas. 20. I'm going to make the point here in a second to you. Washington. 25. And the Rams. 22. So, in the first 4 games of the season, Jalen Hurts threw the ball 35, 31, 38, 30, and you were 2-2. After the bye, Hurts has had 1 game with over 30 passing attempts. The rest of them have been 25, 14, 22, 20, 24, and 21. My point is this. If he throws the ball actually, too, if you think about it, this year, throwing the ball 30 or more times, the Eagles are 1, 2, 3, 4. They are 3-2. Yeah, you're 3-2, throwing the football more than 30 times. It's not a remedy for you to win. And I think he's going to have to throw the ball a lot in this game. So he's proven a trend that if he throws for the ball, your chances of losing are higher. You're only 3-2 this year. In games you threw for more than 30, they were the Green Bay, Atlanta, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, and I believe the Cincinnati game. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. You're 3-2. Got to run the ball. That's your identity. That's what you've now created. So if he gets in this ball game and they can't get the running game going and it goes back and forth here, Hurts is going to have to make a play to win. This is what he's done. By the way, this is who he is and what their offensive identity is. You're now 10 games in. You're now okay. You're 10 games in. This is what you are now. Okay, you're not going to be somebody different come Sunday, and all of a sudden just go, well, we're going to turn it on and we're going to throw the ball. You got 11 games in now. This is what you are. Okay? And if you have to rely on him throwing the ball, I don't believe it. Because he's not done it all year. Especially when it comes to winning. You're 3-2. With a ton of turnovers in those 30-plus games. Every one of those games that he had 30 attempts, he had turnovers. I think every one but one. Multiple sacks. Wonder if the better trend to look at is how many times Jalen runs the ball after the bye. Jalen ran more often. That's a great take, and you're correct. He definitely picked it up more. And he's been more effective doing that. Dude, I told you this one more time. When Jalen Hurts, okay, there's no doubt when he runs the ball, he's electric. Okay? How many times did Jared Goff throw the ball? His average throwing attempts a game. The best team in the NFL, stop the BS. Actually, he's never lost to Patrick Mahomes in his career, and he's thrown for over 4,500 yards, and he's 11-1 right now, and they've got two running backs that are going to get 1,400 yards. Stop the fucking stupidity. That's what I'll say to you. We're undefeated with Hurts and Smitty both playing. Okay? Hey, Sills, what do you think? Eagles, Ravens, Super Bowl. Guys, hit the like button for the show. Thank you very much, Richard. I appreciate it. YouTube, wrong. We lean on Barkley way too much. Throwing for an average of 180 yards ain't winning freaking football games. Barkley's going down. Hey, 215, I'm not hoping for any of that. I want that guy to get. Hey, by the way, 215, there's a part of me that wants Barkley to have the greatest football season. Hey, so you guys know, there's a part of me that wants Saquon Barkley to have the greatest season in football history so that the Giants can finally fire those two idiots. There's no doubt. I pray that Barkley goes for 2105 and he breaks Dickerson's record. And you can look at John Maher and go, so you gave the MVP of the league away for nothing. Dude, it's one thing to give Barkley away, and Barkley had 1,500 yards, and the Eagles win 12, 13 games. It's another thing if the guy wins the MVP and breaks the rushing record that's been held since 84. That would be unbelievable. In today's NFL, where you have so much turnover and there's a salary cap, when that record was broken, the salary cap era didn't exist. Do you know how hard it was to run the ball back then? You know how hard it was? Everybody came back every year. And now you know how hard it is to run the ball? Not every old lineman comes back. It's hard now, too. Okay, I'm just saying. We'll get to your supers. Don't forget, folks, our great friends at BetUS, man. Absolutely spectacular time. A ton of college football games going on. Great time of the year. Saturday is going to have Auburn, Alabama. Then you got the Iron Bowl. You've got Ohio State, Michigan. And we've teamed up with our great friends here at JAKIB and with BetUS during this football season. And right now, man, the 150% special with your signing bonuses up to $2K. It's called the YouTube special. Your second and third are at 125% up to $2K when it comes to your bonus signups. It's absolutely insane. 200% in crypto as well. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Fastest payouts in the business. 24/7 personalized service, 365 days of the year. Live wagering on all major games. Do me a favor. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. And make sure you bet during this football time. This is a great time heading up all the way through to the holidays, too. At about, I'd say around 3:15, we'll bring on Zander with us, and we'll ride it home. We're doing a 2-hour special today. We didn't want to leave you hanging here as we go into the weekend here, too. Earlier this season, you said the only way the Eagles can win is if Hurts rushes more. Yeah, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's rushing more right now, and that's the only way the Eagles are going to win because they're not going to win because of his passing game. Yeah, I didn't say win the Super Bowl. I said win, and that's what they're doing. See, we're 2-2 after going into the bye with him throwing the ball more than 30 times. You've pulled that back to 21 attempts a game. You think that's situational? Or do you think that's understanding their identity? That's understanding who they are. And by the way, if I got Secretariat in the barn, I'm not going to keep him there. I'm going to utilize him. I'm going to utilize him. But this is a game right now. Well, hey, wait a minute. If I'm looking, hey, explain this to me. So the Ravens don't have a good pass defense. You've got two $51 million combined wide receivers if Devontae plays. I mean, isn't this why you're paying them? Isn't this a game why you pay your wideouts? I mean, if you're A.J. Brown, aren't you wanting to be feasted on this? Right? That's what made Gang Green so ferocious. Sacks were not given so easily because running the ball doesn't result in sacks. Well, I think pressures are also a high quality trend. If you're getting a lot of pressure on the ball, and you're not getting home and you're not getting sacks, but you're getting a ton of pressure, I like that number. I like the pressures. Okay, I do. I think pressures they're not as sexy as the sack, but I think that's a great number, man. Okay. Steels, do you think Shifty or running back gives the Eagles defensive line problems rather than power backs? It's a great question, Martin. That's a great question. Here's again, let me give you if I was in Al Davis's pro personnel department. And by the way, I love it on my ex. Amy Trask confirmed it. She was the president of the Oakland Raiders. And they offered me a job as a talent scout with the Raiders with Ken Herrick and them guys. And she confirmed it. Yes, we offered him a job, but he wanted to stay in broadcasting. Amy Trask was the president. Go to my ex account. Al Ocasal and Al Davis asked me. I had my resume in my pocket. I'll never forget. And I crumpled it up and I kept it in there. And I didn't because Bruce Allen, by the way, our dear friend, was also the general manager of the team. And I was like, shit, my wife to this day thought it was the dumbest move. I know. Hey, Sharon, I know. Okay. I know. Believe me. Believe me, I know I should have. But and that's why Al was so great to me. Al would call me up. What do you think of this player? Hey, get this. And I'll tell you how it happened. They drafted. How many people in here remember Ricky Dudley? He was a tight end from Ohio State. And do you remember him, Ricky Dudley? And I remember I watched him his first year. Al came to me. He brings me in, and we're watching tape on him. He goes, what do you make of him? And I said this, I go, he just doesn't have very good hands. And he just can't get off blocks. I mean, if you're looking at him being just a run blocking guy, a Howard Krause, that's okay. But I was like this, I said, that guy's not very good. And he's like, I said, you just can't get off blocks. So the Raiders let him go. And then they went to Tampa. Okay. I mean, here's the one thing though. He ran a combines. He ran a 4.6. He was the bench press. He did 225 like 26 times. He was so unbelievable at the combines. He was just unbelievable. That's right. That's right. Anybody who knows him, I was calling him that, the hands of stone. Holy shit, he couldn't catch shit to save his life. I'm like, Al, that ain't the guy, dude. If you're looking to create somebody to take over for Todd Christensen, he ain't it. And so I'm sitting in there. Before I bring Zander, here's my total evaluation on Barkley and Henry. This is before I bring Zander. Here. I think Barkley's more elusive in traffic. He's more elusive in traffic. He's a better pass catcher. Henry's just so fucking durable and dominant, though, man. I mean, hey, Barkley's got a hell of a stiff arm, too, dude. This guy puts people on his back. He was so underused in New York. It's a criminal crime. I'm watching how somebody think about Barkley and how many players have played on shitty teams that had the kind of talent you thought they had in college, and they went to the wrong team. Barkley went to the wrong team. He went to the wrong place with wrong management. When you have Dave Gettleman and you have this guy, Joe Shitbag Schoen, as your general manager, and you can't find but one old lineman around him, that's an indictment on you, on a talent evaluator. Barkley's a really great, I thought always he was good, not great. But the one difference for me and why I like a guy like Henry, because when you run him through the line of scrimmage and he just knocks your linebackers out and your DBs out and he sets a tone, boy, he scares people. My daughter goes like this, Dad, why are those players getting out of his way? I said, well, those guys are making business decisions. That's why. Hey, Derrick Henry makes you make a business decision. Do I want to get killed to be a highlight reel? Or do I, hey, not that Saquon hasn't. And by the way, I think Saquon looks to run the contact too. They're two exceptionally gifted guys. One guy was just a dominant force, though, 350 carries a year, and the other guy just was never used right. And boy, did they run that pony into the ground. All right. Let me take my reality juice here. Hang on. Because I know I'm going to get a full shit of horse shit that's going to be coming here. You know what? I got a plate of yesterday. Turkey, hard-boiled eggs, the stuffed egg shit, the great stuffing, the pecan pie. You know what Zander ate for Turkey Day? Nice turkey and a big Eagle Bird, because he's picking the Eagles. I know he is. Without further ado, don't forget, by the way, we're doing a 2-hour special. Please make sure you do us a great favor here before I bring Zander up here, man. I want to do, Zander, should I do one more here before I bring you up here, Hoss? Okay. Hey, folks, don't forget, teaming up with our great friends at BetUS. It's a great opportunity for you guys during this football season. Great day today. Ton of football games college-wise. Don't forget Kansas City and Vegas. They play a little bit later on, but then the Saturday games, all those great rivalry games. Then on Sunday,